This video deals with business failure. It's a short video, just 22 slides, as you can see from the bottom right hand side. So let's see some of the major issues that lead to business failure. There are many factors, in fact, which determine the success or failure of a business. It can run right across from competition, globalization, innovation, mismanagement. There are many factors, and what we're going to do in this particular video is to just pick out some of them and highlight them. But you will see from perhaps other areas of reading or other videos you want to look at, you'll see other points that perhaps are not covered here. It's almost impossible to be exhaustive about this because so many different variables can affect the success or failure of a business. Story 1998 identifies 4 factors that can impact on the business success or failure. First of all, the age of the business he identifies as an issue. For a start, setups are notoriously prone to failure for a variety of reasons, and this will be the subject matter of other videos. But essentially, setups may be run by inexperienced managers or by entrepreneurs who have good technical knowledge of a product and can see a niche in the market but can't manage the business. Setups can fail for shortages of finance and so on. But likewise, older, more established businesses can fail, again for a variety of reasons. One, perhaps they haven't properly planned for succession in the business, so when an experienced manager leaves, there's no one to take over. So maybe it's been an oversight, they haven't trained anyone to take the position. Or older businesses may fail because they become fixed in their ways and resist change, don't like the changes that are happening in the market, and become almost ossified. They get stuck in their ways and they can't adapt. The size of the business may also affect its failure. Very small businesses may go out of business because lack of finance or commitment, because the business is simply too small, and it's somehow seen perhaps by the owner as almost a hobby or almost a supplement to his or her income. Whereas larger businesses can also go out of business because of inefficiencies that they allow to creep into their practices. So the size of the business may also affect the success or failure of the business. Past growth. Sometimes businesses have grown well in the past but now are showing less signs of growth, and the managers are not investing in new equipment or not innovating the product. So again, can lead to issues. And the business sector itself, where is it operating? What are the conditions under which it's operating? What's the business environment like? Now these are just some insights, I should say, just off the cuff almost, insights into these issues. What we want to do now in the remainder of the video is to get into these in much more detail and talk about what may lead to business failure. So we start with the age of the business. Now I've given you some very general comments at the start, but let's look at each one of these in turn, starting with the age of the business. Older established businesses have a lower failure rate, generally speaking, because they have more experience. They're more stable, they understand their market and are able to quickly respond to external conditions. They have more experience, they have more experienced managers, they know what they did in the past to survive issues or to sidestep problems. So generally speaking, older and more established businesses tend to be more stable. It's the newer businesses which are more vulnerable. Hudson's 1989 study found that 50% of firms ceased trading within the first 3 years of trading. Now, this figure, there have been many studies in this. That's quite an old one, but I put forward an old one because just to emphasize that interest in business failures and interest in particular in small businesses has been around for a long time, going back to the 1970s, really, but even before then. But it was popularized by the Bolton report in the UK. But so I'm using older material here just to say that there's been interest in what causes businesses to succeed or fail for a long time in the literature. This is not a new area of study. And in fact, there's lots of empirical work still being carried out in essentially the same areas to find out how long businesses in different sectors last, and what's the typical size of a startup business, and how long will it be in business, and is there an optimum size for a startup? And there's been many areas of investigation that have been covered in academic circles as well. Now, the size of the business, well, size can refer to the market share of the business, profit potential and growth potential. So the size of the business, well, very small businesses, as I said right at the outset, tend to be more vulnerable. Larger businesses tend to be more stable. But you also have to look at the growth potential, the profit potential, and the capacity of the business to pay its way. Larger organizations employing more workers are likely to survive and grow compared to smaller organizations employing fewer workers. That's generally the rule of thumb. Larger organizations tend to survive, smaller organizations tend to fail. Past growth. Well, new startup businesses that show rapid growth and employ more workers are more likely to succeed compared to businesses that grow less rapidly. It's the case that larger businesses, or businesses which can afford to invest in new products, can afford to invest in innovations and perhaps cost-saving measures, these larger organizations will tend to grow faster as well. Smaller organizations tend to struggle to get the capital, to be efficient, to penetrate markets, to have marketing campaigns, so they tend to grow less well. So the larger businesses, or the ones that are more prone to growth, tend to survive. The ones which have slow growth rates tend to go by the wayside. The business sector. Well, business success or failure depends on the sector in which the business operates. It depends on the size of the sector. Sometimes entrepreneurs may think they have a good idea, but the sector was not sufficiently large to sustain that idea, to enable the business to develop and grow. Highly competitive industries are more likely to see small business failures. For example, retail and construction. So when industries are highly competitive, it's almost inevitable some companies will fail. They can't take the competition, which means it's survival of the fittest. The companies that are more flexible, more innovative, who have got better trained personnel, better equipment, they're the ones who are going to succeed. The less capable will be killed off. So those businesses will go out of existence. Now, the source for this was a story, as I said. I think that was the main source that we quoted. And that's all we're going to deal with here. It's important to go back over this video, stop the video from time to time, and make your own notes so you understand the causes of, or the likely causes of business failure. It's an important topic, and particularly important in the context of our study of small businesses. But that's all we're going to deal with here, so let's leave it at that and say thank you for watching.